Oh, no, 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 no.
Oh,
it's not looking good already.
Uh-oh.
oh my God.
Oh! 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 1-for-1! Oh, no! Boo, baby!
Welcome back to another episode of 1v1 where Huhi is going through all of his teammates because he will not stop asking them in comms before games to 1v1 him. You are 1 and 2.
Yeah.
How are you going to redeem yourself?
Well, I gotta take down River.
Is that going to happen?
No, jungle is better than.
With that, let's go.
We just draft or we choose a matchup?
Yasuo Yone?
Yasuo Yone?
Okay.
What do you want? Yasuo or Yone? I let you choose because I'm better.
Okay.
That's some confidence.
Yon? I play Yon.
Okay. I play Yasuo.
Redemption for Huhi, who lost.
And then,
He lost on Yone.
what about runes? We do the same runes?
River, how much Yon have you played? Like, ever?
10 games?
Huhi, how much Yasuo have you played?
Oh, it's my first Yasuo game ever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But easy, you know? Okay. Boots
Okay. Boots?
and dagger.
Okay.
No pot.
Okay.
No pot.
No pot. It's honorable.
I feel like you're not cheesing this one as hard as the Stixxay one.
Oh. Well, I have respect to my jungler, not to my AD.
You don't respect the AD carry.
You know, with AD carry, we're like the married couple. We fight.
True.
That is true.
You roam away from him the most, so what can you say?
That's a fight.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh!
Oh, too easy.
All right, it's 1-2 though.
Okay.
Redemption time.
Jungle is weaker than support. River, you need some handicap?
No, I give you handicap. 1 care. It's okay.
It's okay.
What's the strategy to come back, River? How do you make the comeback?
I don't know.
You can't trust Huhi.
Yeah.
It's part of the game. Oh. Us.
First time Yasuo, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, first time.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Too easy. First time Yasuo, new keyboard, new mouse, new setup.
Oh yeah, like you're not
Yeah.
here every week.
Huhi is 2 and 2 now.
2 and 2. I'm
All
just
right.
even.
Anything left to say? 0-1. And that's a wrap. Congratulations.
Yay.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Captainflowers here with Kobe and Jatt for our 3rd game of the day, our 3rd regularly scheduled game of the day. I'm pretty sure we have at least one tiebreaker guaranteed
1 to
now.
5 more.
Right, these things are like hieroglyphics to me, man. I can't
There's
read these.
literally only 8 possible scenarios left.
Okay, well, how likely are we to get a banger outcome from this game?
100%.
Okay, that's what I like to hear.
We are also 100% likely not to get a Viego for Closer, so no repeat on the heroics from yesterday.
Yep.
Closer had his best game by far of the entire split yesterday, and this is a player who previously 400 Thieves, won Finals MVP. He typically ramps up for playoffs, and that's what 100 Thieves fans are certainly hoping in.
And in a way, you can trick your brain if you're 100 Thieves into saying that you're already in playoffs. Because if they lose here, they are automatically in the lower bracket of the playoffs because it would guarantee them 7th or 8th seed if they lose.
Right.
But if they win, that's the only way they can still make it to upper bracket. It won't guarantee their clinch. It depends on the games after. But a win is the only way they can even be top 6.
And with the way that they've had kind of a rocky split, I would think they definitely want the second life opportunity there by being in upper bracket. We've got the Rel, Tristana, and Rumble banned out by them. Viego, Kaisa, and LeBlanc banned out by the Golden Guardians. First pick Rakan for 100 Thieves, and for Busio, it's been one of his best champions. Golden Guardians gonna break up that bot lane, take the Xayah for themselves.
And I think this is a good move because Doublelift is the primary Xayah lover in the entire LCS, by far his most played champion. 6 games of the Xayah. They really want to break up that combo. And there's so many other things that people have been pairing with the Xayah. Lots of different engaged supports. Anything that you can set up those blade callers with. It doesn't have to be Rakan. So Golden Guardians and Stixxay feel confident to spend the pick here as a denial.
And Golden Guardians has really had an amazing, I'd say, week 2 through 6. Their week 1 was weirdly a little lackluster after having such a good spring split, because they just... When I was looking at the Discord All-Pro vote at the start of the day, every member of Golden Guardians was first or second team. So all of them have actually been performing at a high level throughout the split.
Back to the draft, though, they early picked the Jax blind here for Licorice. That confidence. This is one of the things that Golden Guardians, the last time in playoffs, they really leveraged their red side counter picks for top lane for Licorice, and they just say, we don't care against Ssumday. They throw down the Jax pick, and they get the Cassante into it, so it ends up being that 50-50 kind of skill matchup for him anyway.
And wow, look at that. I cannot believe 100 Thieves locked Azir for Quid.
I thought maybe Jace.
Yeah, just all the things I couldn't possibly expect.
One or the other. You never know.
Well, that's what they've got there in the mid lane. So some powerful engage with Rakan, front line with the Cassante, and then, hey, we got that Azir for Quid. Let's see if Golden Guardians want to go ahead pick their mid laner now here too, or if 100 Thieves is going to have the opportunity, to ban out a couple of those favorable matchups.
Yone, maybe. I would be so excited if we get another like Gori Yone moment. Gori has been talked about right up there with JoJo as far as those all-pro votes that you're talking about for mid laners, and the Yone kill matchup into Azir is a way to make the Azir exciting, Flowers.
Well, I would go so far as to say it's very difficult to make Azir exciting, but yes, Yone is one of the ways you can do it. But I also love Leona. I love engaged supports. She's one of the classics. It's also one of those classic counter picks into Rakan. He wants to get in your face with a grand entrance. Bang him on the head.
Yeah, that's one of the other engaged supports I was talking about. You can pair with Xayah now. The CC setup for the blade caller is what's important, and her being able to add the extra damage plus the nice little tank buffs for Leona a couple of patches ago really made her deceptively a lot easier to be primary engaged and be first person in. And when you're already showing a Jax top, you're going to need to be a little bit beefier.
Yeah, and Jax throughout the game will get beefier, but you're definitely need Huhi to run the show for probably the first 25 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
I also do still think there's a little bit in the back of Huhi's head that wants to put 100 Thieves in the dirt. There's the closer Huhi bromance that is now broken up. They spent basically 2 years together on 100 Thieves. Huhi goes back to Golden Guardians. They're the ones that have ascended. 100 Thieves is the team that has definitely been going through it this year. And another note is a Golden Guardians win does guarantee them a top 2 seed going into the playoffs.
Okay, so Golden Guardians are going to ban out that Poppy. They want to keep that one away from Closer. Very effective against both Jax and Leona with a steadfast presence. Also keeping Varus away from Doublelift. You can see Talia and Yone, 2 of those Gori picks, including, unfortunately, the Azir excitement sauce, banned out by 100 Thieves. Both second phase bans used to target the mid lane.
But I think it's smart, right? That's intelligent drafting there. They also recognize it as something that Golden Guardians would likely go for, so banning it away, not letting them have it. And now you have to think, what is Doublelift actually going to play as AD carry? Because they dropped the extra AD carry bans in here, and when he's been on stuff like Ashe, it has been fine for him, but it hasn't been great for 100 Thieves overall, and they've really needed him to be on the bigger DPS carries.
Yeah, there's so many bans as well. I was just thinking that this could be a closer Lee Sin angle. I wasn't even thinking about the AD carry. That's locked, isn't it?
Yeah, that's locked. She's coming back. Dread it. Run from it.
She's just quirky.
You
Can't keep her away.
She's just quirky.
It is a higher DPS AD carry that fits that role that they've come to know that they have to have 400 Thieves. So it's kind of up in the air whether fans will be happy or sad to see Zeri back, but Doublelift back on a possible pentakill champion here. We'll see how she fares with the Rakan, with the nerfs that have been layered onto her. And they round it out with a beefier front line here. So no surprise on the 100 Thieves side. They've got that super strong front line. They've got the Azir carry and Doublelift on some sort of scaling AD carry here for them.
And with all 10 champions locked in, a reminder that tickets are officially on sale for the LCS Championship in Newark, New Jersey on August 19th and the 20th. You can head on over to Ticketmaster.com right now to claim your spot and see who's going to be throwing down in person there at our grand finale for summer. But right now, my eyes are once again, as they have been in many games previously for 100 Thieves, on Closer. The pressure was mounting and building, and it wasn't until yesterday that he even got participation in his first blood of the split in the final week, the penultimate game. Now, he's not on that trademark Viego. He's on the Sejuani, stock standard jungler. He needs to step up again.
He does, but I think it's going to be tough.
Okay.
Because I really like the matchups that Golden Guardians has into the 100 Thieves team composition. I feel like Golden Guardians can get prio in multiple lanes. I think they have better options for team fighting, and I think they have really good answers to double-lift Zeri. So I think Closer and 100 Thieves have to play very well to get a win here.
That Zeri getting locked in after being out of the meta for a while. Vi had also been knocked down in popularity after some nerfs.
And partially of it because Zeri's not there anymore because you pick Vi into Zeri.
Exactly. Vi was initially starting to get picked all the time because Zeri could not be removed from the meta by any means. And so people had to figure out something that would do better into it. Vi was the answer. Then people just started picking her into everything, and that's when I started the Vi Haters fan club. But now that Zeri's back, it's a great point-and-click answer.
Yeah, are you in the club?
No. I'm a Vi lover. Vi was one of my highest peaks. But I would also say
But you're
it's
just
because
a Volibear player now, so why aren't you playing Vi if she's so good?
Volibear right now only his third lowest win rate. Thank you for opening this discussion up. Got knocked down to third lowest win rate of any jungler because of a little bit of snafu taking out the auto attack reset on Q.
Anyway, but Vi.
A bit of a pain point. Back to the Vi though, I would say more of the drop off is due to the 2 rounds of nerfs that were dealt to this champion, and specifically the big increase to the cooldown on the ultimate. You pick Vi basically all for this ultimate, and with the big cooldown increase on it, it makes it harder to combine for those classic Ahri Vi combinations. They're so much less frequent here. It's still going to be successful. You know, it's still a very good tool versus the Zeri or versus the Azir. It's just going to be less frequent.
All right, with the minions about to spawn, we're going to go ahead and send things over to Gabby and the Golden Guardians coach Spooks for a quick interview.
Thank you, Captainflowers. Looks like in this particular game, you snagged the Xayah away from Doublelift. They pivoted to the Zeri. What do you make of the pivots in this draft?
It pretty much went as expected. I think drafting as 100 Thieves, they're very consistent in like what champions they pick. Draft was okay. I'd say it's like pretty 50-50. Luckily for us, like Licorice, he's always like willing to sack in drafts. He's just like, just blind me Jax, it's fine. Everyone else wants counter, so it kind of worked out, not too bad.
The predictable identity, very contrary to Golden Guardians, and I want to say thank you for locking Leona, my favorite champion. I'll consider that a 3-week late birthday present to me.
Oh yeah.
But on the note of Huhi, I did run into him in the hallway. He seemed a bit nervous about the potential of the late day with tiebreakers. How are you handling that energy management?
Yeah, I mean, our guys are they're pretty low endurance. We have the energy spike and we fall off. I don't know, it's just about keeping the energy levels high, like positive spirits. I think we'll be fine. We have a lot of really experienced guys, so we'll just take the day as it comes.
Drawing on that experience in what could be a grueling day of tiebreakers. Yeah. Thanks for joining me. Let's see how things are going in game.
Alrighty, back here in topside, it's Licorice shoving up. His Closer's coming around from behind. Might be a gank angle here. Ssumday
first blood number
got
2.
The third charge of the Intofo strikes. Licorice just jumps back towards his own minion wave, flashing away. The stun still connects, but it won't matter. Licorice escapes on this one, but he will need to TP back. Reset a little bit here, I would think. Nope, never mind. Still has the biscuits in inventory. Can heal back up with those.
And there you go. Closer remaining active here, trying to get up to the top side. Does at least get the summoner spell, but going to have a much less efficient clear here on the Sejuani. Meanwhile, River full clearing down to the bottom side on the Vi, so River will have the level advantage, will get to the level 4, will get bottom side Scuttle Crab. See if he can leverage that for their bottom lane, because Stixxay and Huhi have been such a strong force for the Golden Guardians through their runs. So reliable. And now here with the bottom lane getting their early recall off too. You see Cole purchased for Stixxay, feeling pretty comfortable to even go for the kind of cheater recall call pickup. More value.
And you also see Huhi immediately running out towards mid lane from base, so he's going to always be looking for angles. You're also always going to be looking for angles from invades for closer and from River. And I think one thing to pay attention to with River's Vi is how he'll sneak around specifically these two walls when ganking mid lane. It's so hard to keep track of River in general, but specifically when he has Vi because of the low cooldown on Q, he's very creative. That's been one of the key moves in there. Welcome to NA moments with all these mids. Usually Golden Guardians does a great job punishing them. So I think Quid, like if 100 Thieves wants to win this game, Quid needs to play very, very conservatively.
And the key when you're getting creative as a jungler and looking for those plays, you know, we saw him waiting there through the jungle. He pulls his recall off in time to walk back to Krugs just as Krugs is respawning for second clear. So while you do take opportunities that come to you and you go for looks, you don't want to become too inefficient. And he goes by, he got his second clear of Krugs and then meets closer on top side.
Exactly. Both junglers bumping into one another here, but nobody wants to engage on the enemy jungler, especially not especially not Golden Guardians, excuse me, since 100 Thieves does have the advantage in terms of health with the top lane matchup. Ssumday still sitting at almost maxed out on that. Licorice still recovering from some of the damage earlier after Closer made that gank happen, but nobody's in real threat on their life just yet. Ssumday with a nice CS lead thanks to the presence of Closer up in their first gank like we were talking about. Huhi steps forward there, hits level 4 now, but all right, Busio and Doublelift can just walk it off here a little bit. Remember, traditionally, Zeri would always be picked next to Yumi's or Lulu's or those pocket enchanters. Rakan can still try to protect Zeri Peel for a little bit, but not quite that same level of protection. So Doublelift's going to need to have some good positioning as this game goes on, too.
If you come mid around the 5.5-minute mark and can blow the flash from Azir, with the 5-minute cooldown on that,
nice.
There's flash down.
The successful part of the gank here is trading the flashes. So when River gets level 6, flash for Quid will still be down. So yeah, even though Quid does flash out, the goal has been achieved there for the Golden Guardians.
And it was without committing any of the Spirit Rush from Ahri. So Gori will be ready to back up his jungler no matter when that level 6 happens. They should be able to make a nice play here. Getting the Azir down early, getting Ahri ahead of the curve of the game. Ahri can be very, very powerful in those mid-game skirmishes. Once the game opens up a little bit, we start seeing the first objective fights around Drakes or Heralds. Meanwhile, back here in bottom lane, Stixxay versus Doublelift is turning into a small CS lead for Doublelift on the Zeri.
100 Thieves laning quite well, actually. So even though Quid burned his flash, you can see Ssumday off that early gank from Closer was able to open up a pretty big lead. With the wave bouncing back, that's going to be about 10 CS, about 7 CS bottom lane. So actually fine start for 100 Thieves in this game.
Yeah. Okay, shuffle coming out from Quid. Gori gets thrown into the range of the turret, and that turret shot means that there's no more opportunity for him to try to outplay anything here. Has to get all the way back underneath his own turret and just farm up the wave.
All right, getting a little bit aggressive back. Ult for ult trade. No flash, though. Can't even up the summoner spell cooldown. So it's still definitely a viable strategy for Golden Guardians to continue on those timers River's looking at. Now he just wants to farm to his level 6 on the Vi. Get your level 6 before Azir gets flashed back. And then you can pull off the classic combo there. Vi ultimate guaranteeing the Ahri possibilities of following up.
All right, is 2/3 of the way to it. I believe the red buff gets him most of the way there, but he'll still need to clear the Krugs to complete the level 6. As Closer grabbing another Scuttle Crab up here in this top side river. He will be on top of a control ward that was placed down by the Golden Guardians, so they'll at least have information on where he's at. He's very close to a level 6 of his own, and there it is. Closer hits level 6 first, so Sejuani now having the Glacial Prison, another big playmaking and ganking tool, and I want to see him find use for that very quickly.
Yeah, I completely agree. I will say one thing that's preventing River from doing more mid lane against Quid was the early gank from Closer in the top lane. I feel like River has had to manage that top lane a little bit. You saw the junglers contacting each other earlier. You saw him up there again just now. It is a pretty dominant lane from Ssumday so far, and it's requiring Golden Guardians to pay attention to stop it from getting worse.
Yeah, you talk about 100 Thieves having good lanes so far. They're at plus 800 gold with no kills on the board. All of that is just CS leads.
And what we're seeing now is the group for Rift Herald, where both supports were leeching a little bit of experience mid. Not enough to get to their level 6s, though, by the time it spawns.
Yeah,
so
Doublelift
here we
moves
go.
first, too. It's really rare that Doublelift moves first, so 100 Thieves really wants his Herald.
Yep, he is here.
That's not a joke. That's very serious.
Gonna hold down mid lane. It is both true and a little bit comical. comes on up. It does mean that they're going to pay the price because you see the minion wave will get pushed into the bottom side turret as they get the knock up into Charm.
Gori's got to be careful. He had to Spirit Rush out of there. He was being a bit disrespectful, so close to the enemy team there in a 1v3 situation. Huhi and River off to the side. Level 6 is available on both those supports now as Gori goes back to the wall. Nice Charm into the solar flare. The backup damage arrives and it's first blood back over to Gori. Now 100 Thieves are in serious trouble. Doublelift has to jump back over the wall into the Raptor pit. The zap flies out over the wall, but it will not find Golden Guardian health bars. And what looked dicey at the start ends up as first blood for the Guardian.
And Doublelift is so mad now. This is why he doesn't like moving. He's lost 2 plates to the AD carry bottom. His lead is gone, and his mid lane ended up dying. This was Golden Guardians being so sneaky around those river bushes, actually getting the kill onto Quid while his flash was down. That's the window they were looking for. It just comes in a lot of different shapes.
And it's a really good call because they make the call to go for this rotation over towards bottom side to cut off 100 Thieves from getting back down to that pushing wave at the turret. So they allow
Gori here.
Yeah, they allow Xayah to get the turret plates while Gori lies in wait. He popped up his sweeper so that he knew there was no wards there. Just jump over the wall, and they do make good on that flashless Azir kill.
Yeah, I specifically love it because he ulted out. So 100 Thieves thought, okay, he's gone. It's his 30% Ahri, no ult. But he just waited pretty much the max duration before he could use his second charge before going in. I do not think 100 Thieves expected him to be there.
Object permanence, sometimes an issue. The Ahri is not gone just because you can't see it anymore.
And he knew that it was safer to go back in if the enemy Azir came too close to him, especially because Busio had already used the Rakan ulti in the initial lockdown on the Ahri, getting Gori low, so they didn't have that for a counterpunch once the Golden Guardians showed their own hand. Now River's picking up the first Drake of the game, uncontested thus far. 10.5 minutes in, bottom side control still for Stixxay and Huhi, who were behind pretty significantly early, but now, like you said, Jatt, hey, Doublelift's roam gave Stixxay the opportunity to catch back up in this game. Static Shiv is fully completed for Doublelift, so he has a greater power spike, but not enough to try to contest this, and Golden Guardians get that Drake.
And I want to point out that the key factor there that actually allowed that play, that meant it was only the 3v3 in mid too, was they had the resets for 100 Thieves. Closer had recalled to go back to base in an effort to try and retake that other side of the map. And so the call for Golden Guardians to rotate everybody down to the other half when Xayah's pushing in here and everybody else goes to cover and cut off and make that rotation answer from Golden Guardians that much more difficult. Really, really nice catch.
I also just... Oh, there's five top.
Licorice in some trouble here as Closer finds him just ready and waiting here in the tri-brush. Licorice jumps back in as River flies in with a Vault Breaker over the wall. And now the Wombo combo kills Closer even though Huhi didn't find the Zenith Blade. Gori's ready to join the fight. Ssumday is not going anywhere but home, man. Gori picks up another one and Golden Guardians are 3-0.
Golden Guardians not missing in the last couple minutes here. Those 2 kills mean that Licorice finally gets to CS uncontested up there. The Jacks can push it back. They made the rotation for 100 Thieves though. Doublelift and Busio up to the top half of the map, so even more turret plates for Stixxay.
Licorice overstaying his welcome here a little bit. Busio popping the quickness. He's got flash for flash, so finally 100 Thieves get themselves on the board, and they get some money.
He just wanted to eat up a little bit, just a couple minions.
He thought the lane problems were over, but then Doublelift and Busio had swapped out. That's very big for 100 Thieves staying a part of this game because they had just started to lose control of it. Maybe they go for more here.
Gori can step away from that one. Nice sidestep there, making sure that he doesn't get hit by the initial part of the zap or the laser off the back end of the turret. As you can see, River charging up with a Vault Breaker here, jumps over the wall, sweeper to clear away some of the wards. The Herald was summoned by 100 Thieves to just grab the couple of plates that would guarantee here against the Golden Guardians top lane tier 1. As Huhi and River hanging around means 100 Thieves don't have anything else they can force. Licorice respawns back at the base, heads down into the bottom lane, considering everybody else has already rotated up to top to cover after the death.
Pretty healthy gold lead here for Stixxay off of all of these plates. About just over 600 here for him. So the Xayah feeling quite nice, even though no kill participation for him. It's all about the turret destruction.
It is, and Huhi leaving actually drew so many people up away from Stixxay. It ended up, weirdly enough, being very good for him that his support left. And I want to pay a lot of attention to the mid lane matchup as this game progresses. Gori has had a lot of games where the other mid laner just doesn't really get to play the game once things go wrong, and it's also been a weakness of Quid since joining the league, specifically his side lane play. He is very, very young. and still very new to competitive play and doesn't speak the same language as Doublelift. So there are communication issues within this team, and I think Golden Guardians is exceptionally good at targeting enemy mid laners, let alone a new mid laner like Quid.
Well, especially if you're going to play against a Vi-Ahri combination.
Yeah.
Perfect for killing
And Leona.
mid-lane carries.
The pick tools are very, very scary for the side of the Golden Guardians. 14 minutes on the clock means plates have fallen. Doublelift has this tier 1 on the top side nearly burst down, and he'll go ahead and put the last few auto attacks into it. That is first turret of the game going the way of 100 Thieves, including the bonus gold. So the Golden Guardians lead that we were talking about being pretty nice at 1,500 gold just a couple of minutes ago, shrunk down now below 500 as 100 Thieves strike back a little bit. You can see it's now back to being Doublelift, who's at the top of the earners table.
And remember, we did have the sideline interview with the Golden Guardians coach talking about how predictable 100 Thieves are in draft. It's because they draft just like this, strong front line, strong scaling for themselves, 4 5-on-5 team fights. So they definitely are very much still capable of fighting the front to back.
Golden Guardians know that this second Herald is around. It was 100 Thieves grabbing that first one. That's what helped them knock down that first turret so easily. And the Guardians don't just want to give away the second. Gori firing off the Everfrost there, having that fully completed Mythic so powerful on Ahri, makes it incredibly easy to hit the charms, practically turns it into a non-skill shot. Huhi with a Hex Flash, just looking for some extra positioning opportunities here on the Leona, as 100 Thieves have Closer, Busio, and Quid contesting and controlling the topside river.
Yeah, I think they're feeling pretty strong now. Very good item power spike mythics for them with the Radiant Virtue on the Sejuani and even the unprocced crown onto Quid. So they're going to start off this Rift Herald and go for Golden Guardians.
It gets proc now. Quid jumps in and scares out the first Spirit Rush charge from Gori. If they can wait out these last couple of charges, 100 Thieves is going to be feeling really good about any potential fight. Golden Guardians recognize it. They say, all right, this one's over before it started. And that's second Herald to 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I think 100 Thieves was stronger based on the game state of the 4 players that they had up there. So really well played for them to kind of brute force that Herald. Now the question will be, can they transition that strength into getting position for this second Dragon? This is the standard play. Drop the Rift Herald mid, then move into bot river as Golden Guardians match the Herald. So they might end up getting a double dip here with Herald and Dragon.
The Herald nearly getting all the health off of the tier 1 turret. The backup from Quid and Doublelift is enough to guarantee it. Gori's up on the top half of the map because he still has very low mana and no ulti. The cooldown is still only halfway back. Quid jumping in there, scaring that out of him without actually using the Emperor's Divide himself, ended up being a massive benefit for the Thieves.
Yeah, they were able to push Golden Guardians completely around the map here. Rift Herald into mid turret, into Dragon, taking both neutral objectives, getting the tower for themselves, and Golden Guardians ceding a lot here. Now right back to that even state.
Yeah, and I mean, Closer 0-1-0. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's been a bad game. Like, yes, he's had a lot of these, but this one is fine. Like, this one, his lanes didn't have the best gank synergies. They didn't fall that far behind. He's got items and farm, and he's ready to team fight.
And the job is very simple here when you're on Sejuani and you're a front line with really good scaling carries. Yeah. 2 really good scaling carries on their team. Just play front line, hit your CC on front line. You can have the advantage in the front to back.
Easy enough. Beat a meatball. If somebody on your team dies, it better be you and not Azir or Zeri. It's the name of the game. Selfless gameplay required from Closer and 100 Thieves as River and Huhi go in looking for a chain CC onto Busio. They burst him down before Doublelift and Closer can do anything to save him. Nice pick from the Guardians in the enemy jungle, catching 100 Thieves off guard.
Picking on the youngins. 2 of their 3 kills have been on Busio and Quid, but that is just textbook Golden Guardians catching you within a rotation. Weirdly enough, even though they've said their mid game has been something they've worked on a lot, in terms of their gold state at 50 minutes and how often they translate into those into victories, they're actually like the 2nd best team in the league when I was looking at the stats. So they are still a very complete team. It's one of the reasons they're tied for first place.
Ssumday versus Licorice, the top lane matchup. The Mythics completed on both sides. Licorice unafraid to jump in, go after Ssumday here. Can't find the stun with the counter-strike. Gori was coming up to reinforce there with the Unleashed Teleport, as Huhi also hanging around meant that Ssumday needs to get all the way back.
That's a lot of investment, though, for Golden Guardians. That's going to leave your bottom side of the map completely open. So you're speaking about Quid and him in the side lanes. Now he's got nobody that's going to pressure him. The Azir should be able to get a free turret on the bottom side. With the investment from Golden Guardians so hard up into the top. Ssumday able to get out, no problem there. So I think 100 Thieves pretty happy to trade objectives with the towers on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, I think both teams will feel relatively neutral about this trade as long as no one overstays and gets picked off, because I believe Gori's going to be able to finish off this turret, and it's really just a transfer of gold between mid laners. So we'll see who uses that gold more efficiently later.
Yeah, Gori does have the 2-0 start. Again, with the Everfrost already completed, the playmaking tools are there, but it's all about lining up with your Vi and your Leona to find these picks. Ahri's not going to have the same level of DPS, especially as the clock moves forward, as an Azir will. So I need to see Golden Guardians being the ones trying to set up the picks, trying to find their own moments here in this mid-game phase, as we have 2 minutes left before the next Drake spawns. It's 1-1 on that count. It's also a Chemtech Drake, so don't expect anybody to send the whole squad and bet the whole game on a Drake anytime soon.
And since we've got a full 2 minutes till it spawns, you have plenty of time to push out the top lane first. Yeah. So even though Quid doesn't have his teleport, they send him to take care of that top side wave, get that under control, then you can just rotate on over.
Doublelift is pretty strong. He just got his quick blade, so he's probably the strongest person in the game right now. It's going to be pretty important for Stixxay to complete a second item, or for Gori to complete a second item before we get to the next dragon fight. But then the fact that it's a Chemtech Drake as well kind of deprioritizes it. So I'd be really low-key worried about a Baron sneak this game, because normally you're all going to group up for that third dragon, but both these teams have pretty fast Barons. So I think we might see a little bit lower priority on dragon and higher on Baron.
Well, 100 Thieves are trying to get some of that deeper vision here in the red side jungle of Golden Guardians. You can see they've got the ward in the red buff brush, Closer and Busio roaming together as a duo just to make sure in case they run into anybody, nobody's going to get picked off immediately. Again, respecting the power of Vi and Leona and Ahri there as River drops a control ward here at the entrance ramp to that same red side jungle. And it's Golden Guardians now having the opportunity to go back out and trade control over that vision.
Yeah, speaking of vision, I want to highlight the investment that Golden Guardians had. And this is with even one of the extra wards expiring. Had 7 wards over there behind the dragon leading up to it for the possible setup here with 38 seconds on the clock. Turning the map dark, you can see 400 Thieves. They've been attending to their minions, but at the cost of their vision game here. So Golden Guardians working with a little bit more information.
Which is great when you have so many buttons to engage as well. So it puts 100 Thieves in a very precarious spot as they kind of have to defend against both neutral objectives, right?
One of the best things, though, about the Chemtech Rift is the super plants taking care of that vision work pretty quickly. The super Scryer's Bloom knocking them down to 1 hit, being able to efficiently clear out some of those wards and try and retake this control.
So both of our AD carries are on the 2-item power spike right now. Pretty important thing to note, though, Azir's second item completed with the Nashor's Tooth. Ahri still has the 2 sticks, but no hat.
Licorice looking for a possible teleport flank on the Jax.
Okay, the Drake is low, 2,000 HP. That one's going to be secured by the Golden Guardians, and now they're ready to engage on Busio. He's in the quickness, but he's locked down. Ssumday's coming around from the side, but he won't find a good target to go all out on here just yet. Glacial Prison misses. Solar Flare finds a slow on the multiple targets. Huhi's here on the front, and Licorice charges forward. Doublelift wants to kite it out. He's right next to Quid. They're trying to escape, while Licorice chases the other 2 away. River leads the charge. Quid and Doublelift kite it out. Licorice still trying to lock these guys down. 100 Thieves managed to barely get everybody else out.
And it's a critical escape right there. That is a critical, barely escape with your life for Closer. If Golden Guardians are able to get 2 more of those kills, then they could easily turn towards that Baron. Look at how this team fight started out, and they get such a big amount of burst damage onto Ssumday. He actually goes in, separated from the rest of the team, and then Ssumday ults into Golden Guardians, cutting himself down to half health, losing the defensive stats, and just gets blown up.
Yeah, I think ultimately that was a poor play by Ssumday, but he didn't have a very good option to disengage there either, so Golden Guardians just being disciplined throughout that fight pays off for them.
You can see 133 damage on Ssumday is a little bit less than what the champion would normally want to be putting down in a fight.
Not ideal.
Yeah, a little bit of suboptimal team fight damage there from Ssumday's Ssumday. He's going to want to redeem himself as the game goes forward. 4,500 from Doublelift on the Zeri. Actually, the damage leader in the fight, followed closely by Gori's Ahri at 4K.
Yeah, while Golden Guardians was trying to chase for more kills in that fight, Doublelift got all of them very low. He probably got the entire team below about 33% health. So he is a problem in this game if Golden Guardians can't get their hands on him.
Zeri is definitely a very good champ for if enemies are chasing towards you, because you get even more value out of the Q range there and being able to kite backwards, jumping over the walls. But if they lose that first person so early, it's going to be so hard to recover. And I like how Golden Guardians have been investing so many resources in Division, because they're running a poke comp that needs to have vision to be able to get those early leads, get those pickoffs.
And I do like Ssumday's itemization here. Second item completed with a Thorn Mail. He knows the only AP threat on the enemy team is an Ahri, and Gori can't really afford to be trying to just focus down a K'Sante. All other 3 champions are AD threats and specifically AD auto attackers. So I really like this being the second item, just hard focusing on the armor. You can see across the table though, it's Rabadon's Death Cap now fully completed for Gori, having that nice spike. It was a bit of a disadvantage earlier because it's such a pricey item. They didn't have it available for the fight fully completed yet, but now that he's got it, that's pretty scary for the side of 100 Thieves. They're going to need to respect that Ahri damage now more than ever.
I gotta say, this has been a good game for a 7-win team versus a 12-win team. I think 100 Thieves is playing quite well this week.
They definitely are, and they're playing a comfortable comp, you know, that they definitely like to play this style. So they're not taking any risks because remember how important this game is for both of these teams. If 100 Thieves can win, then they have a chance at getting up to the top 6, which really does help you in playoffs, giving you another life in playoffs with a double elimination. Meanwhile, Golden Guardians would love to lock that top 2 placement.
Yeah, and if 100 Thieves lose, 0% chance of getting top 6. So it's very must-win for them. It's as if they're in the upper bracket now and a loss guarantees the lower bracket. But here comes a Baron. Ssumday is in a side lane, so he's going to have to respond. This Baron dies fast.
Ssumday already TPing into the backside of the enemy red buff as Huhi gets hit by the Glacial Prism, but he ain't too worried about it. Baron's still going to be burned. It's secured by River and the Golden Guardians. Now they're ready for the counter-attack here on Ssumday, but an Emperor's Divide back onto 2. Ssumday staying alive right now, but River ults him. Doublelift killed Huhi off to the side. Golden Guardians are crumbling. They got to be careful, man. Doublelift's going to find Stixxay. 2 if he ain't careful. Gori versus 2. Busio with a nice grand entrance. Doublelift with a shutdown back onto the enemy AD carry, and he ain't going to stop there. It was Baron for the Guardians, but it's an ace for 100 Thieves. They washed the purple off of him with bullets.
Doublelift takes all the value out of that Baron buff. All right, let's take another look at how it started, though, because the teleport comes in while Sejuani gets the initiation onto Huhi, and then they draw him over to the side. Golden Guardians thinking, hey, let's just finish bursting this Baron, then we can chase for the fight.
And Doublelift jumping over the wall to finish off Huhi also kind of guarantees that no one is keeping their eyes on him throughout the fight. So Golden Guardians actually end up hard chasing into the river, but Doublelift is untouched this entire time. So when he does approach Stixxay, he absolutely obliterates him. Gori chase afterwards is fairly easy because Zeri is just too damn fast and mobile. So Doublelift is the main victor in that entire engagement.
He's the one wearing buffs now. It's red and blue, it's not purple. But he took everybody else's.
Hey man, I might not be an art student, but I know how those combine, all right? He's feeling purple in his heart right about now, and he is absolutely in an ideal spot to carry this game. He's got his Bloodthirster completed. He's got a stopwatch. The outplays are ready to go. Golden Guardians still have a 1,000 gold lead as a team, but the Doublelift X factor is massive. You know the Golden Guardians have a target on him.
Just stay in front of him. Don't let Vi get a free ult onto him and control this Drake at the moment. They need to move towards this and be ready to turn outside of the pit if Golden Guardians go.
Golden Guardians might just say, forget about it. We don't need to try to face check into this area you already control. We'll let you have the Chemtech Drake. It's still only 2-2 in Drake's stack. Golden Guardians are just going to opt to take the gold advantage of securing the tier 1 turret in mid lane instead.
Yeah, Golden Guardians want to split this game up as much as possible now. They have the TP advantage on Jack, so it's a lot of guerrilla warfare. Loser wants to group this game up.
Gori getting caught there by the Glacial Prism, but he can still disengage in time. Now they got Frost! They got Doublelift locked down, but he stays alive thanks to the stopwatch. The damage to the Golden Guardians will not finish him off just yet, but a nice charm back onto Quid. Gonna take the other enemy carry down critically low. Golden Guardians do not get a single kill. Doublelift survives because of stopwatch.
Ooh, that was a critical one there, Flowers. Able to stay alive. Licorice wasn't even there the whole time. He sees all this action popping off, tries to teleport in, but it has dissipated by the time he arrives. And it starts with Closer actually getting the ultimate onto Gori here, but it is the Ahri who's going to have the ultimate to jump back away, and you have the counter initiation, Vi combo, looking for the Leona follow-up into the Ahri follow-up. So much dive potential onto him, but he gets that split second, that little bit of breath to be able to stopwatch and then flash out.
Yeah, no stopwatch left for Doublelift, no teleport left for Licorice. I think Licorice is going to regret using that teleport because in the 5v5s, based on how much gold Doublelift has, it does look like 100 Thieves is advantaged, and Golden Guardians needs to find these split push created picks. So having no teleport advantage on the top laners lowers their ability to force those plays.
And we just saw on display Golden Guardians' ability to dive on the back line with the vibe into the Leona ultimate, into the Ahri follow-up. But with the stopwatch denying that one, it bought time for Doublelift's cleanse to come back up. Now the cleanse is back off of cooldown, so he does have a little bit of extra safety to work off there, as well as possibly trying to stay by Quid and relying on some sort of Azir ultimate peel as well.
This is a banger game. When I said at the start, what are the chances of us having a banger here? And you said 100%?
Yeah.
You weren't lying.
Yeah, it's a TriCast, man. Of course it's going to be a banger game. That's why they made it a TriCast.
Hell yeah. Well, I hope that it ends the same way that it's been going so far, because we've had a lot of back and forth here from both these teams. 6-8 so far. Doublelift, the kill leader for 100 Thieves, sitting there on that 3-0-2 scoreline. 3-1-3 for Gori, the one who has the most kills for the Golden Guardians side. As you can see, those second item power spikes are online for pretty much everybody across the map right now. The completed Zhonya's Hourglass there for Quid's Azir means he's going to have some extra playmaking potential. As you can see, the Shadow Flame just now being put together for Gori. Very high damage Ahri build. This one is carnivorous.
Yep, all the meat of the AP in this one. We're going to have the big multipliers there. While you're on items as well, Flowers, we're getting the variation of teamfight jacks, where you do go for the Zhonyas as well. Yeah. Given the power of the stopwatch to buy so much time for another Counter-Strike for Jax, it does change you from really relying on a lot of split push pressure into being able to get into the thick of things in the team fight and still survive.
Plus, in terms of bruisers that are normally built for AD, Jax actually gets a lot more value from the AP stat than a lot of other ones would, so he doesn't feel too bad about building the item as long as he is getting those high value usages of the active.
Yeah, and also Flowers, when you're talking about this game being a banger, if you're just a fan of like gratuitous amounts of League of Legends, 100 Thieves win is still the only way we get 4 or 5 tiebreaker games. So if they win and Dignitas wins and FlyQuest wins, we'll be playing 10 games today. Overall. That would be the 5 tiebreaker scenario.
We gotta go to Upset City.
Going into the day, there was literally only one scenario that resulted in 5 tiebreaker games, and it's still possible, and is even more possible if 100 Thieves wins. So for them to do that, they need to prepare properly for this Baron that's coming up in 10 seconds. They are so strong in team fights, but I really think it's about making sure they can keep the side lanes under control so they don't get flanked.
And I think for Golden Guardians, you got to remember what happened in the previous Baron fight. Yes, they burned it down. Yes, they got the objective, but it was what you said about losing track of the Zeri. The fact that Doublelift could start off killing the one low health dude off to the side. He aggro drops out of sight, out of mind, right back in there. The Baron has started up. Golden Guardians only got it down to about half HP. They're not going to stick around this time. They're trying to disengage to the top side of the river.
Gori!
Gori's already down! It's tragedy for the Golden Guardians. 100 Thieves now continuing the fight as Quid. It's a two-man shuffle. River and Licorice got to try to get out, but they ain't going nowhere. Stixxay at least gets one back, but Licorice is going straight to the dirt. Beautifully fought from 100 Thieves. A critical mistake from Gori, and the Thieves are about to get Baron.
How did Ssumday get away from that? That was like the most broad daylight kidnap I've seen. It looked like he walked behind Ahri and ulted him.
He did slowly walk up to an Ahri that had flash and had ultimate.
Yeah.
And just get the W into, look at this. Yeah, walks right into him. No flash from Gori.
He just walks behind him.
Walks past. He got the W into ultimate, and then it's just dead. So Gori really would have had to respect the initial Ssumday teleporting and running at you full speed. But, you know, from that point, they're already missing mid laner. Golden Guardians do their best to salvage something here, but you know it's going the way of 100 Thieves. Big one there from Ssumday.
Remember when we were talking about that bottom side river fight and we were making fun of Ssumday's 133 damage? I said, man, he's going to want to redeem himself for that one. Well, there you go. There's redemption from Ssumday for 100 Thieves.
I feel like I've learned a new layer of Ssumday gameplay. Like, you don't have to, it does not have to be complicated.
No.
Just like pick the guy that doesn't have stopwatch and just ult them.
Ssumday's got options, man. He's got a lot of options.
This is really huge for 100 Thieves. So they're wearing Baron, they're on Soul Point, and they can way more easily just group up and get a fight here. So I think I like what they're doing here, setting up shop in mid lane, but they do have to worry about a flank from Huhi. They're doing a very good job all game of preventing people from getting on Doublelift. Here they go.
Oh, Quid goes in for the shuffle. Huhi and River are going to be the targets at the very start, but now Doublelift might be jumped on. Golden Guardians finding the enemy carry. They get the Guardian Angel, but they still got to kill him again. Gori, Huhi, Licorice, and Stixxay all looking for the damage. Gori's got the shutdown. River tries to escape back over the wall the other way. Busio needs to chase him. River with a vault breaker can regroup back with his team. 100 Thieves thought they had their moment there, but now Ssumday's coming around from the side. River with another vault breaker backwards. Quid flashing into to find the kill there. Stixxay lets the feathers fly. Quid's still alive for now.
Oh, Quid!
Beautifully shut down. Quid is stepping up where Doublelift fell. And now Closer's found his way to try to lock down Licorice. Quid and Busio trying to kite this one out as Licorice again will not get any value out of the hourglass. Quid is there. 100 Thieves continue their push.
100 Thieves, they're thriving in the chaos. Flowers chase down the kill after kill here. Now with the Baron buff, they can get even more. Towers don't stand a chance. Mid gonna go down. They can even take the red buff, and they don't even have to stop here.
I really feel like Quid clutched up in that fight. It looked like he'd made the mistake flashing forward and Stixxay was clean him. But then when he's able to buy enough time with the stopwatch, kill Stixxay as Stixxay's waiting around to pull the feathers back, makes the best of a bad situation because Caster Curse came in. They did not protect Doublelift from this particular flank. Gori teleport behind him as Licorice and Huhi approach. They can get the GA and kill him, but 100 Thieves is able to clean up the back end of this fight.
Because of this little chase all the way around the Raptor Pit. Ring around the Raptor Pit. They go for the chase onto River. The recall goes off. Ssumday's there, and Quid says, you know what? He's not getting away with this. Flashes forward into the stopwatch. Stixxay lays down the feathers here, but he's unable to pull them until before Quid's able to kill him.
Exactly. You saw the feathers light up on the ground. He was just in the middle of casting the recall on them, and that's when he died. So split-second timing ends up making the difference, and that's the second time that Licorice's hourglass has done nothing but postpone his death for 2.5 seconds.
Yep. That's the curse of Zhonya's sometimes. And also, you do want to question maybe Gori's build a little bit. He has been caught out a few times, not having a stopwatch. It's very high damage. Golden Guardians consistently looking for picks.
River and Licorice jump in on Ssumday a little bit, but Cassante is never really the target. Stixxay putting a lot of feathers into Busio here. Licorice again with the hourglass. Into the back goes River. They found Doublelift, the lockdown for the Everfrost, and they got him. Stixxay with the damage and the kill as 100 Thieves have to fight without their AD carry. Quid in a stasis of his own, but it ain't gonna do enough just yet. Ssumday goes all out looking for Huhi, but he won't find him. Busio and Ssumday, the last two standing. Golden Guardians find a massive fight off of a massive pick on Doublelift.
Banger alert! Golden Guardians! They didn't hear no bell, Flowers! They're still going for it, and now they're gonna get inside the base inhibitor tower.
Okay, they might end. Look at these death timers. 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 30 seconds, just a top laner support, and 4 strong for Golden Guardians.
It's a Rakan without ult. It's a Cassante without ult. It's Golden Guardians with a 4-man push and a minion wave ready to go. First Nexus turret, taken low, but it ain't down yet. Busio is. He's gone. Ssumday's trying to use the Pathmaker, but it's just a path to victory for the Golden Guardians. They will stop 100 Thieves in their tracks and secure a top 2 spot.
The 3-0 week is complete for the Golden Guardians. 13-5, by far their best regular season in the organization's history. This win keeps their chances of top 1 alive and guarantees them a playoff bye with a top 2 seed.
I got to admit, that game made me a little dizzy. It was certainly a banger. That was fun. Golden Guardians got right back up after losing that extended chase, and they make good on the dive. Immediately delete Doublelift, then continue to force on through. They take care of Quid, chase them right back, and end the entire game.
And I think, in the end, part of the Vi Ahri really showed its strength. Because Doublelift got so far ahead onto Zeri, they had this strong front line. You're thinking, how is Doublelift not going to carry this game? And it's because River just gets close enough to press R, everyone just sells out, and they just kept one-shotting Doublelift.
Plus, I really think that Leona, this kind of unseen third part of this already really strong mid-jungle duo that's so good at diving, brought it all together. Because the long-range follow-up of these Leona ultimates so often were the thing to tip the tides.
And let's just watch this one more time. Like, pay attention to where Doublelift is, way over on the left. So even though it doesn't look like they're focusing him, the instant he comes into range, they're going to go for him. Watch River from beyond the river. Q ult. Normally that's suicide if you go in alone, but everyone piles on. Stixxay even ulted him and pulled the feathers back to make this play happen.
It's such a good wombo. You can see the Leona ultimate following right up on Vi ultimate. Ahri's in there. The feathers are down. Everything. Instantly kill him.
And then in this part of the fight too, Gori's charm forced Quid into stasis while 100 Thieves still had other men left alive. So the one DPS you have left is not DPSing while the other bodies are soaking damage.
Very good call out. When I originally saw it, I'm like, ooh, nice stopwatch by Quid. Wait a minute. Literally no one can do damage and the game's over.
The timing just doesn't work out. Golden Guardians find the perfect fight to shut down the 100 Thieves war machine. And the death timers were so long because we've been scrapping for a while at that point. They just walk it down mid.
Definitely. Guardians is good.
Yeah, man.
Golden Guardians are dang good.
Yeah.
They deserve that top 2 lock. Congratulations.
The Golden Guardians are the real deal. They will lock top 2 with that one. And it also means, like you pointed out earlier, Jatt, 100 Thieves are now guaranteed to be fighting in the gulag. They will be in that lower bracket. They get 1 life and 1 life only. You drop a series, you're done.
This also puts that pressure on Cloud9 now to try and keep pace with Golden Guardians.
Right. That last game of the day, Cloud9 versus FlyQuest, C9 and Golden Guardians came into the day tied. So Cloud9, if they drop the game to FlyQuest, if they fall into the trap game spot that we've seen teams do before sometimes, especially in these into-split weeks, it could be Golden Guardians not only for the first time ever having a split with more than 9 wins, but taking first in the regular season. That is absolutely unheard of.
And award balloting is going to be really big in this too, right? Finishing first just like really increases your strengths on all this stuff. Also, really quick call out, EG can no longer get top 2 because of the way the tiebreakers fall. So both Golden Guardians and Cloud9 are going to be top 2. We just don't know the order yet.
All right, and now with that one all wrapped up, it's time to join Kangas and Licorice in the lounge for a game show.
Thank you, Flowers. Hello and welcome back to the LCS Lounge. I'm joined by Emily and Licorice for an all-new game show coming straight from the NACL called Pixel Perfect. Now, I've been taking screenshots of that last game at varying degrees of discernibility. We got our 16-bit that you can tell what's going on. 8-bit, a little bit harder. 1-bit, virtually impossible to tell what is going on the screen. And I'm going to test your memory. Who's got a better memory, the player in the game or an analyst that was watching the game? 16-bit is worth 1 point.
It's not me.
8-bit is worth 2 points. 1-bit is worth 3 points. Don't count yourself out yet.
This is what my notes devolved into.
No, it's going to be like a bot fight or something. I'm like, yeah, I was laning top. You know?
Emily brought notes. A lot of them are topside focused, so hopefully you are able to remember. You have 5 minutes, though, to make your guesses. Whoever has the most points at the end of the 5 minutes wins. Time starts now. Licorice, you're up first. You can choose. Do you want a 16-bit, 8-bit, or 1-bit?
Let's go for the 1-bit.
We're going hard mode right away. Okay.
I want to see it.
We're going to go for 1-bit number 1. 1-bit number 1, we're going to show you a screenshot from the game. And you have to tell me from your memory any information that you remember about this. If it's enough for me to say it's correct, then you got it. What is going on in this image right here?
Oh my god.
Keep in mind, I can see on the screen, it's a little easier. It's really hard to tell when you're this close to the screen.
Is this? I mean, it looks like Dragon.
Walk me through where it is.
It looks
where
like
do you
Dragon.
think location? Okay. I think Dragon.
I think.
What do you see at the top of the screen?
There's a level 13 something.
All right, it's level 13 something. Take a look at the model. Let's break it down.
Okay.
What do you think that model is?
Dude, I have no idea.
Emily's jumping up and down. Usually play for stealing. We will not have any stealing. You got to place your final guess.
That's
final guess. Emily, you want to help him out?
I'm in the Zhonya's.
You're going to say Zhonya's.
Yeah, I'm going to say Zhonya's.
That is incorrect. Let's take a look at the actual moment. Emily, you got it?
Was it Cassante?
It is Cassante. In this big fight setup here, 100 Thieves walk up, Golden Guardians. You do a good job of just actually keeping him out. He had to walk all the way around, isn't able to get into the fight until much later. Now, let's take a look real quick here because, of course, the fight does go your way. What was your thought process here, Licorice?
I mean, after the initial engage, I think it might have been better if I actually waited a bit at the start. But like as soon as there's a fight, it's just like press my W when it's up, press my Q when it's up, just like get in there.
That's like top laner things, right?
Yeah, just top laner things.
All right, perfect. Well, let's take a look at the next one. Let's pull up the board again because that means Emily, you're up. So that's 3 points to Licorice. Man. He's leading right now.
Wait, I got 3 points for that?
Yeah, well, we'll give it to you.
Oh, wow.
That's your first time. That's your first time. Emily, what you got?
Every single one of these
games. You walk me through it. You know, this is a subjective point system.
Okay, I'll go 1-bit too. You know.
All right, you got to catch up, right?
Let's go.
All right, let's take a look at the next 1-bit image here. Again, blow it up on the screen. It's going to be virtually impossible to tell what is on screen, and Emily's going to have to discern it for us. What is going on in this 1-bit image?
His was so much easier. I mean, that's Cassante again. fine.
All right, okay, you identified that. What's that symbol over there? What do you think's going on? Stuff, right? What champions give that symbol if they hit you with an ability, Emily? Now we're really testing the analyst here on the desk.
I can't tell what it is.
All right. If you can't tell it, you're conceding the point. Let's take a look at the Let's take a look at the replay. What was going on in this 1-bit image? This was the big fight where we...
I was gonna guess this, just because this was like one of the big moments in the game, not because of anything I saw on the screen.
Big Baron fight moment, right? Doublelift is able to pop off here. Let's actually roll the clip a little bit because Doublelift actually comes back online after being shut out in the first stages of the game. Well done for him. That was, of course, the Ssumday on the approach. He gets kind of juggled around there a little bit, but Ssumday actually played it pretty well, in my opinion. What do you think about Ssumday's performance, Licorice?
He played well. Yeah, his laning was good. Yeah.
All right, cool. Respect. All right, well, no points for Emily. Sorry, I'm not giving you the free beat. Licorice, you're gonna choose a 16-bit or an 8-bit. What you gonna go for?
Let's go for the 16-bit.
You're gonna go for the 16-bit. All right, now people will actually be able to tell what's going on the screen. Let's take a look at the first 16-bit that we have. And again, you'll tell it scales in difficulty. This is where you're supposed to start, by the way. Usually you ramp your way up. What is the context of this image? Hate to do it to you.
You know, this is just, I mean, this image, you can caption it jungle gap.
Oh, you know what? That's what my notes said, actually. That's perfect. All right, let's take a look at the actual play here. Because, of course, this was when you lost your flash early on.
Gank. Yeah,
Level 3 gank coming in from closer. And the lane, you were doing well up until that point, but after this, you don't have flash. A little harder to play that. Let's take a look. We don't have too much time, so let's just go on to the next one, actually. Thank you, observers, for taking a look here at the replay. We see you survived. Good job. Good job, players. You survived the game.
No, that's what my team says in game too.
Hell yeah, good job. Emily, you want to go for 16-bit or 8-bit as Licorice
I'll go 8-bit. I'll just
8-bit.
I'm not concerned about winning. I just want to see.
And we are running low on time, so this is your chance to maybe catch up here.
I don't think so.
Take a look. 8-bit image. What is the context of this on the screen?
Oh, I have no idea.
All right, walk me through it. What time of the game do you think this would be?
We're both stunned. It's early enough in the
stuns.
game.
Licorice, do you remember this moment?
I think the health bar colors are throwing me off, but I want to say.
Let's take a look at it.
This is a Leona ult.
Let's take a look at not a Leona ult.
Oh.
This is you.
Oh, it's me.
All right, play it out.
Wow.
This is where you came back in the game. Good job, Licorice. We're proud of you, man.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Despite losing your flash early, you turned it around. What were you thinking here?
Support gap.
Oh, there we go. So it's never about top lane. That's a lesson that we're learning here. Top lane does not factor into the equation at all. All right, well, that's it. That's all the time that we have for the game. We do have one final one for you, though. A special one for Licorice here. This is one that I think only you would be able to get. So, production, if we're ready to roll it, let's see if Licorice can get this super special edition of Pixel Perfect going. Now, I will say, you would get it. Maybe your mom would get it as well. That's an extra little hint for you. What do you think this is? What's this image here? The context of it.
My hair.
Your hair?
Yeah.
Can you give me a little more information? What photo do you think this was on?
Dude, I have no idea.
No idea? Let's take a look. Licorice wasn't sure. Oh, hey, here we go, Licorice. Making a statement making an argument. Thank you so much for coming on.
It's right there.
And playing the game. And Licorice, you're walking away a victor. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Any final words? Any victory words?
This game is rigged.
It was too easy.
Too easy, of course.
True.
And with that, we're going to send it to a short break before we're back with more LCS action after this.
Good shit.
That was awesome.
It is ready and waiting here for the tribe rush. Licorice jumps back in as River flies in with a vault breaker over the wall. And now the wombo combo kills closer, even though Huhi didn't find the Zenith blade. Gori's ready to join the fight. Ssumday is not going anywhere but home, man. Gori picks up another one, and Golden Guardians are 3-0. Busio here. Licorice again with the hourglass. Into the back goes River. They found Doublelift the lockdown for the Everfrost, and they got him. Stixxay with the damage and the kill as 100 Thieves have to play without their AD carry. Quid in the stasis of his own, but it ain't gonna do enough just yet. Ssumday goes all out looking for Huhi, but he won't find him. Busio and Ssumday, the last two standing. Golden Guardians find a massive fight off of a massive pick on Doublelift. Banger alert! Golden Guardians!
Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Typical beginner's mistake.
Yes, they all start from the outside.
So, will we help him?
What else? Here, try it with Red Bull.
Red Bull gives you wings.
涙よ星に瞬きを伝えて守るものがあるから